Hello everyone, it's Untitled Chapter and welcome to part 1 of Let's Build a House in Sketchup step by step. So very many people seem to like my speed builds whenever I upload those of Sketchup. I never upload them as much as I upload my Sims 4 videos, since that's kind of the main thing of my channel. But whenever I do actually upload Sketchup videos, people do seem to like them, which I'm very happy with, which is also the reason I decided to start this Let's Build. Because many people always say that they really like what I do in SketchUp, quick note here, I'm not like an architecture student. I'm 15 years old. I'm not going to like university yet for this architecture thing, so I'm just really doing this for fun. So in case you're like an architect and you would like to have like a real tutorial, then yeah, this might be something for you, but please know that you will probably know more about this than I do. But nevertheless, this can be considered kind of a basic tutorial as well, but more kind of like me showing you my tricks, so the way I actually use SketchUp in order to build what I build. Because many people always say that they like what I do, but they say that they can't do it themselves. And the idea for the house and just kind of the mindset to what you want to build is very important, but knowing the tricks of how to use SketchUp is kind of important as well, which is why I'm actually making this video. And at the same time, it's kind of as enjoyment or entertainment as well, so you can actually use this video for several things. But anyways, yeah, I'm planning on building a very modern house for this for this video series, which will be, I think, yeah, it will be several parts, otherwise it wouldn't be a series. And I'm not very sure yet how many parts. It really depends on the size of the house. I don't want it to make it too big, because in that way I can actually spend some time into making the house a little bit more detailed. But you'll find soon enough, you'll find out soon enough how long this series will be. But yeah, by the way, here we already actually have kind of the first tip of how I actually use SketchUp, and that's using copy paste very often actually, because in that way you can work so much quicker. It's like nearly unbelievable actually, because you can work like much quicker if you actually use the copy paste tool. And also at the same time, it's not only quicker, it's also that in that way you actually get like exactly the same measurements, which is very important if you actually want to make something to scale, which I normally don't do, but I do kind of try to have it like, you know, I do want the sizes to be in proportion, or kind of, you know, in proportion. That's kind of what I wanted to say, I guess. So let me see. Here we're, by the way, in case you hadn't noticed yet, making the entrance. Maybe you hadn't noticed yet, and in that case you know now. So this will be filled with glass, and then what I just built before this is the kind of the frame which the window is going to be in. I think it's a little bit too thick actually. So just in case you're wondering, this series is actually pre-recorded, because by the time you're watching this, I am away on holiday, and therefore I did actually want to have several videos to upload, and I realized that I hadn't made a SketchUp video in quite some time, and especially not a Let's Build. I've actually like nearly never done that before. I think back in the day when I just started these videos, I did a Let's Build, but that's basically it. So many of you have probably never seen a Let's Build of me building this. You've never seen that before. But I'm saying that this is pre-recorded simply because in that way you know that your requests or your tips won't be listened to until like the next part after the, well, not in the next part, that's the point, but like I think in part 4. So that's just to let you know why, because I do read all the comments, but I'll read them when I'm back, and then I'll do my best to actually listen to what you say and change that for this house. So there we go. Kind of making an overhanging part, because of course you want to kind of stay dry when you have like someone at the door who's, you know, waiting for you or something, or bringing a package. They do want to stay dry, and therefore there's this kind of roof part over here. So I guess maybe I could actually, after you see that there's like the name of the house or something on here in a very modern house. So I might actually make that, but I still have to come up with an idea how I'm going to do that. So I'm not doing that yet. And maybe I'll make the interior, I'm not sure yet. So please let me know whether I should actually make the interior or try to make the interior, because I've never done interiors yet. And then I know whether I should actually do that or not. So yeah. Because that could actually make the series much longer, of course, but if you would like to see that, then that's not a problem. And then I would like to make that, and in that way it's kind of a challenge as well for me, because I've never made an interior before. And I found a very good way to actually make interiors, or at least a good way to actually see inside your building. I don't remember the way it was again, but there was a way to actually kind of level everything up to... Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. I'm not going to try. There we go. And yeah, it's kind of hard because it might be hard to imagine what it will look like in the end, because of course with this, you know, in the Sims you add a door and then it's very clear that it's actually a door. But in Sketchup you of course have to make the door yourself. Which I just did, and that one takes a little bit longer, but that's not mainly the problem, but it's more that it's not very recognizable for you, and something like this is very hard to explain actually. Like what I'm doing right now, it's very hard to explain what the idea behind it is, what I would like it to look like in the end. So actually I'm moving this up a bit. There we go. And then I'd like to make this an overhanging part, and then this should be a little bit longer, and then there we go. So now I'm actually going to measure this side, which you can simply do. You can actually really measure it, but you can also put it on that edge, and then at the right side you actually see the measurement. So you see that it's 1 or 0.65, and then I can actually put it in, and then you see that this is a little bit too wide, and now it's exactly the same as it's on the other side. There we go. The reason why I'm, by the way, not making a skyscraper in this series is because skyscrapers are very kind of boring to make when it comes to the process. The thinking process is most important there, and that's kind of hard to explain in a Let's Build, and also not very enjoyable to watch, because it's very repetitive actually. You know, every level you have to make like a balcony if you have like a living building or a living tower. Do you call that? Or like a flat, I think you would call it in English, right? I'm not sure. But it's very repetitive, which makes it kind of boring to watch. And therefore, whenever I build a skyscraper, I always put like very loud music on, and I just, you know, or I watch like a movie while building it, which makes it a little bit less repetitive, or it makes it just as repetitive, but a little bit less boring, because the thinking process is, like the most fun, or just the idea behind the skyscraper, like the fancy shape of it, is most important when it comes to building a skyscraper. So that's just some reasoning here why I'm not building one for this series. Let me think, because I have an idea for this, what I would like to do here, but I just came up with something else as well, and then now I'm going to try to actually combine that. And in the end of this episode you will kind of understand what my idea is with this part, by the way, because right now it might seem kind of strange, but this is actually like the real structure of it so far. By the way, in case you're wondering, I do just use the free version of Sketchup. I have kind of an expansive rendering program which makes those cool looking images and realistic looking images. It's called iRender NXT. It's like used by architects as well. So if you're an architect, maybe you use that, or I'd advise you to use it because it's really good. It's also what I make the tutorials for. So yeah, that's what I'm using. in order to render those images, which you always see, which make it look realistic. Yeah, it's kind of hard to because now I was building and explaining something at the same time, and now I don't know what I was actually talking about. Yeah, the fact that this is just a free program, and yeah, therefore you can just build this as well. You have just as many tools. I've just have like the advanced toolbar open here at the top and some things of our render NXT. But then furthermore, that's actually it. So then the rest would look exactly the same. And these are some struggles I often have in Sketchup, which I would love to actually have like a way to not experience those struggles anymore. So if you have a way, please let me know, because that would actually save so much time. But yeah. So let me see, because I have an idea. It's like going to be kind of a small, or at least like kind of compact modern house, so not like something very big, but therefore it will be kind of realistic, I think. At least that's what I was hoping. Let me see. Yeah, I have a plan. Let me see. There we go. Then I always just add these lines in order to make it make sure that it's actually under there at like the same height, or at least at least just in order to make sure that it works out. And as you probably noticed while watching this series, this is really not an like a tutorial series. This is really just kind of an entertainment, just as the speed builds are. Those are not tutorials either. You can use the tips which I give you. I give quite many tips in this series, I think, or at least I'll try to do so. But it will not be a tutorial series, so be prepared for that, actually. Because otherwise you might be disappointed. It's actually really what the title of the series says it is. It's a let's build of a house, and then step by step. So yeah, there we go. Because I wanted to use some pillars. Oh, that didn't work out. Let me extend that. There we go. And what I really like about making SketchUp videos is actually the fact that this is a little bit more professional, kind of. It's also that like architects actually watch these videos, like serious architects. And I'm just, you know, playing this for fun while playing, really actually just playing this as if it's a game. As a 15-year-old boy, and people who have like studied for it actually watch these videos. So if you are an architect, like awesome that you're watching this, thanks. It's really cool. And yeah, there's an email address, by the way, in the description. So in case anyone, an architect or something, wants to contact me, yeah, the email address is in the description. Let me see, how long is this? Okay, 2:14. Then we go over here, and I actually type 2:14 on my like keyboard, and then there we go. We can just simply shape it. Well, simply. There we go. Let me see. There we go. 14 again, and then a square, and then I can actually put this up, and then I have enough to kind of get an idea of this concept, kind of. Righty. So that could look pretty cool in the end, I guess. I'm deleting this because those were just like for myself in order to see what it would, or not what it would look like actually, because I wouldn't use it, but just to see what the measurements were and to make sure that everything was like in proportion. So I think that's okay so far. That's looking pretty cool. Now I would like to actually because I want to use blend or blinds in this house. In case you don't know what it is, it are like those, in modern house you often see those wooden planks kind of used in order to protect the house from like the lighting of the sun inside. That's kind of what I'm trying to build here as well, or at least I haven't tried it yet, but I hope to build it in this house as well. But I still have to figure out which way I would like that to be built. There we go. And then in this way we have a square here, because I do want to have like real windows as well. And let me see, because maybe, yeah, I think I have an idea actually. There we go. Then make this just a random size and actually add this over here as well. And then in there I'm going to make another square. Well, square rectangle actually, because that's going to be the size of the actual size of the window. The other thing is the frame of the window. Oh, I actually have to put this over there as well in order to make sure that it's correct. There we go. And then here we have a frame for a window. If I actually delete those top parts, as you can see, by the way, as you probably see, I never go to the toolbars at the top, and that's because I know all the shortcuts. And in case you are actually using SketchUp already, but you wonder what all those shortcuts are, if you actually hover with your mouse over it, you actually see the name of the tool, and nearly almost every time, or with every tool, the name of the tool, the first letter it is actually the shortcut letter as well. So with the push and pull tool, the P is actually shortcut, so that's pretty easy to use actually, and I use it very often, as you probably noticed. Alrighty, so I actually wanted this to turn out a little different, because I wanted the blinds to go like over here at the top, and then at the side over here to continue. But that's going to be pretty hard, I think, if I'm going to try to do that now. Let me see, is there a way to actually move this? No, I don't think that's a problem. That's where my expertness, that's not even a word, but where my knowledge of SketchUp kind of ends, because I do know quite some things about it, but when it comes to like very technical things, I don't know it. So that's in this case not very handy, and some people say that I should like read entire books about it. Well, a book wouldn't take that long, but I have once seen a book of like how to use Word, so like just a normal typing service of Microsoft, which everyone uses except for Apple people, but even Apple people actually use those. But I saw it was like a book of, I think, 500-600 pages just about Word. I mean, Word isn't that hard to understand. I mean, it can sometimes be kind of irritating, but that doesn't make that it's very hard to understand actually. That irritation probably comes from the fact that I think that I know better than Word, and then in the end it turns out that Word does actually know it better than I do. But that's not what we're going to say. Let me see, because I really want to have the blinds added already. Let me come up with an idea there. Yeah, I think I have an idea. Yeah, there we go. Then that's it. Then we actually move this a little bit to the front, because this is going to be a detailed house, as you can see so far, like how far I go with the details of the like the windows already show that I actually put much effort into the detailing of this house. And that's simply because I actually like to make houses more detailed, because that just makes them look more realistic as well. So let me see. There we go. Now I'm going to make the shutters, and I'm actually going to do that by just taking the middle of everything actually. Because in that way I believe it's the quickest way, or at least in my opinion. There's probably a way which is even quicker, but this is quick enough for me. Let me see. Is this the size I want to go for? Yeah, that's the right size. And then we're pretty close to the end of this first part of this series already. I think I'm not sure how long I've been recording yet, which isn't that clever. Let me make those shutters. There we go. And then I'm actually going to first, let me see, colors. There we go, coloring it. And then in this way I can actually color it very quickly, or at least that's always the method I use. Does it work? Yeah, it does kind of work, but not really the way I want it to work. So therefore I'm just going to just normally color it in a normal way. And maybe later on I will, mainly surely actually, I'll color this later on again, but this is just to make sure that the model kind of gets the idea, or the model doesn't get the idea, I get the idea of what the model looks like, and what I should actually change. Because some things just in my mind look really good maybe, but in the end it doesn't look good in Sketchup. And also remember, I've not planned anything for this build. I've literally, I think 5 minutes before I started building this, come up with just this shape of having shutters and the shape of the door kind of, and then I just started building, and then this is what actually came out of it after this first part. So yeah, no planning here, no blueprints, drawings, anything, just imagination. There we go. Alrighty, so it's pretty okay. It's looking fine, I think. It's very modern. Because that is what it would look like in the end, I think. Maybe this would make it look better. Or not. No, I don't think that would actually make it better. And maybe it would actually be even better if I remove this part. Yeah, I think I'll try that. So let me see. Did that work? Let me see, I'm just trying something new there actually. Yeah, there we go. It did actually work. By the way, Sketchup is also just a program which you really have to just play around with and just figure out how it works yourself. Because there are just very many tricks which you can actually teach yourself, and just working with it actually teaches you very many of those tricks already. Righty, so then that's it. Then I'm actually going to make the door a little bit like clearer, because it's the differences between the thickness of everything there is just so small that you don't even really see the door actually. There we go. Yep. So it's really modern actually, but I'm kind of doubting whether I like this roof. But I'll actually yeah, work on that in the next part, I think. So I hope you actually enjoyed this first part of yeah, the Sims 4, or no, not the Sims 4, Sketchup, and then the Let's Build Step by Step, or Let's Build a House Step by Step. So yeah, please let me know what you think of the results so far, or just what we have so far. It's not really a result yet. And then I hope to see you back in another part, so please let me know that. Leave a like, by the way, if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't already, and then you see new videos of me arriving your sub box every now and then, every like several days in the week. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you back later.